Hello friend, are you a Terraria player looking to learn some good game habits? Well, look no further. This video will provide you with some tips and good habits to make your Terraria journey a much smoother experience overall. I'm Zuzucorn and I aim to entertain, encourage and offer you a place to call home, so subscribe now and join the Zuzucorn family. Let's begin. The first good habit concerns inventory management, which doesn't sound that important, but with so many items in Terraria, you can easily get overwhelmed with constantly overflowing inventories. Most items also have some niche use for something else, and if you just throw random things away, you might regret it later on. So the first habit I'd recommend is to save and store every single thing you get, and I mean everything. When the Zenith first came out, some people were pretty troubled when they realized that they needed their starting copper short sword. There are also some late game items that need a random early game loot drop to craft. You might also come across a super rare loot drop and throw it away without realizing it, and only when you want to refarm that later on, you realize how lucky you were and how stupid it was to throw it away. So it would be really beneficial if you could foster some great inventory and item management habits. And that brings me to the next point, which is to make lots and lots of chests early on. With a little bit of iron or lead and some wood, you can make simple wooden chests. But you don't even need those, because if you go exploring, you'll find lots of natural spawning ones, and you can just bring those back to base. You probably won't run out of natural chests, so just make sure you use them to the best of your abilities. If it isn't clear to you, chests are a type of furniture you can place down and store items in. Sometimes I like using dressers too, since those are both a chest and a station that allows you to change your default outfit. The point is, you come across many chests during your Terraria journey, and with so many items to deal with, it's probably a good idea to start labeling and sorting your items. To expand on that a little, it's a good habit to have a dedicated storage area where you store the random loot you find as you play. I strongly recommend having a chest for each weapon type, so one for melee weapons, one for ranged, one for magic, one for summons, and one for all the other miscellaneous weapons that you dump everything into. Don't forget that you can label your chests, so you won't ever forget what you've placed in them. Apart from weapons, I also recommend having 2 chests at least for monster drops, cause one usually isn't enough. It's also wise to have a chest or 2 or 3 near your crafting stations, so you can have easy access to resources when making stuff. If you didn't know, you can simply open a chest near a crafting station, then craft directly using the materials from in the chest, without taking anything out. So it's great if you have an ore and gem chest, and a wood chest at least. Don't forget to have one for blocks too, so you can throw all your dirt and stone and sand and ice and whatever somewhere. Now you might be thinking at this point, this sounds like an absolute chore to set up. And you're right, it is. But this only has to be done once for a really easy sorting experience later on. Notably, there's this really handy sort into chests button right here when you open your inventory. What this amazing button does is to sort everything into stacks that are already placed in chests. So for example, if you have a chest with wood and all your random ores nearby, you just need to click on this, and everything is sorted into the respective chest. It's a lot simpler to just run around your base and spamming this button than to manually place things one by one. That also brings me to my next tip, which is to favorite items in your inventory that you use often. For example, you might store your excess wood in a chest and realize that the auto sorting button removes it all in your inventory as well, leaving you with none to make torches when you need them. This is easily solved by holding the alternate key on PC, then clicking the item in your inventory. This item will now be favorited, which is represented by this nice little border, and it will no longer be sorted into chests. Favoriting items also prevent you from accidentally selling or trashing something when you use control click. This way, you can neutralize all the annoying oversights from sorting your items and have one of the easiest inventory management experiences ever in Terraria. The next great habit I want to touch on is to get used to building arenas for bosses and invasions. Yes, I know, that's another troublesome thing to do. I just want to fight the dang bosses already, not spend an hour building some dumb arena. But if you're someone who gets attached to a single world and will still play it even after you've beaten the game, Having your arenas built makes everything so much easier in the long run. Anytime you want to farm a certain boss for their loot drops, you can simply use the old arena that you've built before and have a super easy time. Even if you're the kind who starts a new world and never looks back, arenas still have their benefits. With a suitable arena, some boss fights are completely trivialized and become an absolute breeze. For example, the expert Eye of Cthulhu might be somewhat difficult the first time you ever experience its dashing mechanic, but if you build a simple arena made of 2 rows of platforms, grab a double jump, and a pair of Hermes boots, you'll be good to go. The fight just becomes super simple, cause all you need to do is run along one platform to dodge the dashes. Another great example would be Plantera. If you blow up a large area of the jungle and build a few rows of platforms, you can easily just circle around her and avoid most of her attacks. Plus, anytime you want to refarm Plantera, you can simply break the bulb and slowly re-lure her there for an easy time. Similarly, building one great arena near your base filled with all the stat boosts like bear statues, heart lanterns, and banners, it would make boss fights like the mechanical bosses way easier. Throw in a lava trap, and that arena also doubles as a great invasion farming one. There are just lots of benefits of building arenas, and it's a great habit to have. I do get that it's really annoying and time consuming, but it's extremely rewarding and definitely worth your time. If you need an arena building guide, I've got a video for that, so you can check that out if you want to. The last big habit I want to talk about is town building and NPC happiness. What a surprise, more building. This one isn't so bad though. If you watch some older Terraria videos out there, you might see people build NPC prisons or apartment buildings, where they just throw all NPCs together near spawn. As of the 1.4 update, this isn't a good idea anymore because of pylons, which allow teleportation between biomes. In essence, if you have 2 happy NPCs living in a biome, you can buy a pylon. Once you've set up a pylon network in a few different biomes, you can just teleport between them whenever you want. So it's a great idea to get into the habit of making simple towns. Even if you don't care much for building, just make a few boxes and call it a day. What's important is to set this up even if you're really lazy, all for the convenience later on. Apart from pylons, happy NPCs who live in their favorite biomes with their favorite neighbors will also sell you things at a discount. That's a win for you, especially for NPCs like the Goblin Tinkerer, the Arms Dealer, and the Merchant. So even if you don't want to do it, it will be worth it in the long run to get into the habit of sorting out your NPCs. And that's about it for the main habits that I think everyone should try and develop. These aren't the only good habits out there, but they're what I feel are most important for the smoothest Terraria experience overall. Are there any other habits you think are important that I didn't cover? Or maybe you disagree with some of these points. Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon too for more Terraria guides and other stuff. Feel free to follow my socials or join the Zuzucorn Discord server. This has been Zuzucorn. Have a nice day and have a great week ahead. Bye bye.